Hello and welcome to the channel for another video. Today we're here to look at my new ultra compact cook set. I say ultra compact because that's what's really important to me. I'm not really worried about ultra lightweight. I have weighed it, it's 350 grams if you're interested. However, that's not really my target. Ultra compact is what I want because when I put this in my bikepacking bag, I don't want it to take up too much space. There's quite limited space in there. Also, when I go backpacking, I can simply slip this in my pocket and I've got everything I need for a brew. Previously, I used to carry the MSR Pocket Rocket cook set. This is a 1.2 litre pot, but I only ever really use it for boiling up water, and all I really require is enough for a coffee and perhaps for one of these meal packs. So these meal packs typically need about 250 millilitres of water, and for a coffee I'm looking at about 350-400 millilitres of water boiled. So I really don't need 1.2 litres. So this new little setup is 420 millilitres. They say it's 420 millilitres, but that's if you fill it to the brim. Realistically, boiling it, you're looking at about 350 millilitres, which, as I say, plenty for a coffee and for one of these meal packs, though I will have to boil it twice if I want a coffee and porridge in the morning. So inside the storage cover we have a titanium mug. So this is the Lixada 420 titanium mug. Realistically it's more like a 350 milliliter because the 420 milliliter is filled right to the brim. So if you fill it to a more sort of realistic level, then it's more like 350 milliliters. Anyway, inside I've got a fire steel to light my stove up. This is the Light My Fire Scout. The Scout is smaller than the regular army size. I've got some methylated spirit for my spirit burner. This is an Nalgene container. It's a 1 fluid ounce or 30 milliliter container. So that's enough for probably boiling this mug probably about twice. I've got a silicone pot grip. It's actually cut from a larger pot grip, but it's cut down to a more usable size. So this is good for gripping the handle when it's hot. And inside, in this yellow storage bag, I've got my Trangia burner. So if I pocket the bag. Also, inside the bag, I've got this takeaway container that I've folded up. Makes for an excellent windshield. So this is just a regular takeaway container that you'd get from the Indian or the Chinese takeaway, and it's ideal as a nice windbreak, and also as a bit of a safety thing for making sure the fire stays contained. I'll take the top from a Trangia, and you can see I'm travelling it with meths in. Obviously I wouldn't leave it stored with meths in, but for travelling it, it means I'm making full use of the space inside. And the seal's pretty good, it never seems to leak. So also in the bag, I've got this simple cheap pot stand from Amazon. Leave it in the plastic bag to stop it rattling. So it's just a simple cross stand, put it together like that and drop it on the top. So let's fill the mug with some water. We'll get this lit. There we go. You guys might not be able to see the flame, but that's definitely burning. So sit that on there. Drop the lid on. We can wait for that to boil. Remember, hook that up so it's easier to get off later. Okay, so that's boiling now. It's taken about 6 minutes and 20 seconds. You can see there's a good boil going on there. The handle on the top is just cold enough to grab. This one's a bit warm though, so we're going to use the pot grip. There we go, get that off there. If I use a couple of sticks, I should be able to get the cross stand off here, so I can make use of the remaining fuel for my next brew. Just snuff that out. And there we go, the rest of that fuel can be used for the next burn. Speaking of fuel, I've got, as I said, another 1 fluid ounce, 30 millilitres of fuel that I carry inside the kit. But I've also got another Nalgene bottle, this time a 2 fluid ounce, 60 millilitre bottle that I can carry separately inside my bike packing bags. So that means I've got enough fuel for a full weekend away. The fuel I carry in the burner itself will be enough to boil a mug this size 2 to 3 times. This will give me enough for another 1 or 2 times, and another 2 to 3 times inside this one. So I've got plenty of fuel in my kit to last me a weekend away, especially if I'm just using it to boil water for these sort of dried food packs and simple coffees. So all in all, really compact, fits into the size of this little mug. So there we go, it's a superb, simple little brew kit. It's nice and compact and great for me to carry on future adventures, particularly bike packing where space really matters. Adventures are fueled by coffee, so it's always great to be able to make yourself a brew. When things are getting tough, be it in the saddle or up in the mountains, a good brew can always lift your spirits. So now I've finished my coffee, I've given my mug a quick wipe out, and I've let the pot stands cool down. It's really simple to put this away. Split those apart. Pop them back in their little bag. As I say, that stops them from rattling around. This windshield or takeaway wrapper, you can just fold that up. Fold the handles of the mug, put that alongside, and stuff them into the bag. This bag is quite convenient, nice and padded, and it came with the mug. Burner can go back in its bag, and that can be dropped in the bottom. My little 1 fluid ounce, 30 millilitre fuel pot can go in there. I wrap the fire steel with the silicone pot grip, that just makes it a bit less prone to rattling. And finally, pop the lid on the top, fold the handle down, and there we are, all stowed away and ready for the next adventure. And that's so much more compact than what I was using before. As I say, the only real disadvantage is with this I can make my meal and my coffee in one boil. With this I'm likely to need 2 boils. So thanks for joining me today. There's links in the video description to all the bits I've used in the kit, and don't forget to give this video a like, leave us a comment if there's anything else you can think of that I could include or any improvements I can make, and check out my other videos and give us a subscribe. It really helps me out, helps the channel to grow. Cheers guys, see you on the next one. Fill this with some water and it'll tip over.